Hi, my name is Rosalind, and I'd like to share with you some of my experiences with insomnia. I've had insomnia since I was a really small child. I can remember when I was really little, like maybe like 7 or 8, being in bed and just not being able to get to sleep and getting really upset about it. And my mum had to come and like stroke the side of my face to help me to kind of calm down and be able to get to sleep. And I've pretty much experienced insomnia on and off throughout my entire life. It's quite funny when I look back because I just nowadays as an adult I sometimes am able to blame insomnia on like stress or drank too much tea or coffee or different things like that. But when I think back when I was a kid, it was like I wasn't drinking coffee, and when I was like 7 or 8 I wasn't stressed about stuff. It's a funny thing to think about because it's like where insomnia, like where does this come from even? In terms of insomnia and mental health, I really honestly believe that the two things are completely interconnected. With myself, I have noticed that there can be this vicious circle of having insomnia and how you feel in yourself. It's like, if you're stressed about stuff and then maybe that triggers you to not be able to sleep. And then when I have insomnia, I'm lying in bed and I feel stressed because I can't get to sleep, and I'm worried about not having had enough sleep in terms of being able to go to work and being able to function. And it's kind of ironic that we have this vicious circle where you have insomnia, it makes you stressed, it makes you feel down, and then that by the same way can feed into you not being able to sleep. So I think it is helpful to be aware that pattern can happen. I think if you're aware that cycle might occur, it helps that if you find yourself in it, it can feel really claustrophobic and like you can't get out. But I think if you can understand that might occur, that's a tool to help you to step out of it, and that's what I've found. My tips for dealing with insomnia: I gave up coffee a long time ago now, over a year ago, and I did find that has made a difference in terms of nervous energy and being able to sleep better. I still drink regular tea, but for some reason for me drinking coffee had more effect. And I still drink coffee, but I just have to go for decaf, and that's okay. If you can find decent decaf, it's okay. But that's one like small change that for me I think was a change that was worth making. And every now and again I have like a regular coffee, but I can honestly say if I drink normal coffee, it will keep me awake for up to 14 hours after I've had that cup of coffee. And I know that because I've tracked it on the occasions that I have had it, and that's roughly to how long after drinking it that I've been still awake. Other things that helped me, especially when I was a teenager and when I was doing my exams, and also when I was at university taking exams, I would get myself in this real stress when I was, if I had an exam the next day, and you put yourself under pressure to sleep. A lot of the exams that I took were these 3-hour exams where it's like you really had to give your all in that. Otherwise, if you messed it up, you might mess up a substantial part of the subject that you were taking it in. And so what I found during that and also afterwards was that you can get yourself in this cycle where you're in bed and you're giving yourself, say, 8 hours sleep, and then you have insomnia so you can't get to sleep, and then you're like, okay, it's 7 hours, okay, that's okay. And then it gets to 6 hours and you're like, oh gosh, it's like 6 hours, I'm potentially not going to get enough sleep. And then that is a vicious circle, because then it's like, oh, only 5 hours, it's not enough sleep. 4 hours, oh my gosh, this is like dreadful. And then your mind starts kind of playing out all these scenarios of how awful your next day is going to be. And what I realised really only quite relatively recently is that when you think like that, it puts you in this place of not enoughness, and that feeds into the stress of the insomnia. So I experimented with like flipping my perception of what is enough sleep. And if this happens now, I look at the clock and, maybe I've been awake and I'm only going to get 5 hours sleep if I fall asleep in that moment. And now, rather than think, oh my gosh, 5 hours, it's not enough, I think to myself, wow, I've still got five hours that I can be here in bed. I work really hard during the day, and I'm a yoga ironically, I'm a yoga teacher. I have insomnia and I'm a yoga teacher. How is that even possible? But it's true. And so my job is physical and I work hard. And so now if I have insomnia, rather than thinking, oh gosh, it's not enough, I can't get enough sleep, I think to myself, wow, I have like 5 hours still that I can lie here, I can relax, I can chill, and I don't have to do anything. And I can give my mind a rest if I want, and how amazing is that? And and then even if you're still awake and then it's like 4 hours or whatever, I think to myself, wow, it's like 4 hours, that's like a decent amount of time for you to just not have to do anything and enjoy not having to do anything. And sometimes I find that when I take the pressure off of myself to fall asleep, then that's actually the moment where I do fall asleep. It's quite funny, but that for me has helped massively. So shifting your mindset on, what is enough sleep for you. Another thing that has helped me massively is a type of yoga called Yoga Nidra. And within Yoga Nidra, there's a specific type of Yoga Nidra called I Rest Yoga Nidra. And I was really fortunate that earlier this year, I was actually able to take a teacher training in level 1 of I Rest Yoga Nidra. So during the training, we did a lot of Yoga Nidras. And what is Yoga Nidra? Essentially, it's a form of guided meditation. Typically you would do it lying down on the floor on your yoga mat, and you just get yourself really comfortable with cushions, with blankets, with a nice little kind of eye cushion over your eyes to help you to relax. And then the teacher will talk you through the meditation. A lot of it works with the body, so you're talked around the body to help yourself to feel into sensations you're feeling and to help the body to relax, and it goes into different layers as well. This practice for me was remarkable. On this training, I was very tired when I first started it, and the teacher was saying, during the training when we do these yoga nidras, you might fall asleep. He said that's okay, it probably just shows that you actually really need the rest. The majority of the I Rest Yoga Nidras we did on this training, when I was a student, I was falling asleep in them. But for me, I was astounded. This is me. I'm someone who really struggles to fall asleep on my own. Yet the minute the teacher started talking us into this guided meditation, I was out like that. So this me, I was like, wow, okay, this is something that I really need to pay attention to because this works. And so now I keep some I Rest Yoga Nidra scripts audio scripts that I can listen to on my phone. And if I'm lying in bed and I can't sleep, then I just get myself really comfortable in bed. Or I have actually got out of bed and lay on my yoga mat to do it before as well. And I just plug myself in and listen to a Yoga Nidra. Some of them are quite short ones. Some of them might be up to 30 minutes long. And often I find that helps me to either fall asleep. So I just turn it off and I fall asleep. Or it just gets me out of mind really racing and being really stressed. And it helps me to find a sense of inner calm. So I Rest Yoga Nidra is something that if you have insomnia, I highly recommend checking it out. For me, it's just been amazing. I Rest is really interesting as well because there's actually been a lot of clinical research studies that have been undertaken about I Rest and its effectiveness, and it's actually used with the US Army and with vets in the US as well to help with PTSD. So it's interesting because there's a lot of research to show that I Rest is very, very effective. And as a raging insomniac, I definitely would advocate it as well. So I think, if you have insomnia, I just want to say I feel you. I totally know what you are going through. and just know that you're not alone. And you can probably tell by looking at me, I'm actually really tired today because I'm having a period of insomnia at the moment, because where I live the trains are really messed up at the moment, and I'm just finding it really stressful having to navigate constant cancellations and delays. And it's actually meaning that I can't really sleep very well at night, or if I do fall asleep I wake up stressing about the trains, you know. But this is life. I need to take the train to commute, so I just need to keep on going and just keep using the tools that I've got to try and help me with my insomnia. And I hope some of the stuff that I've shared might help you as well.